Hi guys, I will repeat this until I'm blue in the face. The reason Nigel Farage has been able to make such a name for himself is due to both the media platforming him and not challenging the charlatan on his positions. It's frankly frustrating and deeply concerning how the media has failed and continue to fail to hold the Reform UK leader to account. Here journalist Lewis Goodall wrongly describes Farage shifting away from a Thatcherite position. As I keep saying, the Reform UK leader is an opportunist and will throw out positions not because he believes in them, but because he knows he can get away with pretending to.
Farage is discombobulating British politics. He's contorting it in lots of different directions, especially as you're saying. He's moving in a very deliberate way away from his old Thatcherite libertarian pedigree. We've seen that time and time again, trying to court those more economically statist, interventionist voters. Therefore, that's confusing Labour, because Starmer doesn't really know what his argument, ideological argument, against Farage is. And that is why he's focusing in particular on the character question. Do you trust this guy? Because they see the same polling that everyone else does. And although Reform is ahead, on the key question of who would be the best Prime Minister, Starmer or Farage, generally Starmer is ahead, because Farage still has that barrier, that threshold to break with the British public, where they are being asked to seriously consider him as Prime Minister for the first time, in a way that in all previous general elections, when he was leading UKIP, Brexit Party or whatever, that was never a credible prospect.
And what is interesting is that Keir Starmer is making an argument to the head. Nigel Farage's sums don't add up. When Nigel Farage says that voters are voting with their hearts, both parties, you failed us. They feel that really emotionally. And yet the person who's making the argument with the head, Keir Starmer, is moving, if you like, in Nigel Farage's direction.
Indeed.
After those local elections, moving to water down the winter fuel means testing and potentially ending the two-child cap on benefits.
There's a policy.
And how is it possible that Farage is doing so well? How is it possible that people are considering him to be Prime Minister? Because the media is not holding him to account. One of the most frustrating things about this is that we keep hearing how, well, now that Nigel Farage is leading in the polls, now that Reform have won so many seats, they will be held to account. We hear this from politicians and we hear this from the media. Nigel Farage has been in politics for the last 30-odd years, and I've yet to see him truly held to account. There's the odd journalist who will grill him, but the media as a whole have provided him with a platform and an unchallenged one. So how does anyone believe anyone who says now Nigel Farage will be held to account? He's not been held to account over the last number of years. So of course the media want him to become Prime Minister. I keep saying this. The media want him to become Prime Minister because it's good for them. He attracts likes and clicks. He drives traffic to their websites. He's good for business, like Donald Trump is good for business. So the media would love to see Nigel Farage as Prime Minister, and they're going to facilitate that. A lot of journalists want to have an interview with Nigel Farage, so they're of course going to treat him with kid gloves. They're not going to truly grill him. Once again, I say this, there are some exceptions. Victoria Derbyshire, Wilfred Frost. But the vast majority in the media want to pander to Farage because he benefits them. This is the fundamental thing we have to remember. And Farage knows this is the situation, so he takes advantage of it. But this idea that he's now going to be held to account is for the birds. Farage doesn't have to defend a position. He just has to pontificate. He just has to say, this is my position now. He doesn't actually have to defend it because he knows the media will not challenge him on it. He has said that he wants to support, he wants to get rid of the two-child benefit cap. And have we heard a journalist truly grill him on that? Well, your position 6 months ago was the opposite. And now your position is we want to get rid of it. Because Farage knows he can throw out anything and he will not be challenged. He also knows that he has a cult following that will back him no matter what. So he's in a perfect position to challenge the government, to provide an alternative. And the media are cheering him on. And mark my words, when he eventually does become Prime Minister or enters government as a minister, the media's first question will be, how the heck did Nigel Farage get into this position? And you're going to hear a lot of crying. You're going to see a lot of hand-wringing about, how is it possible that this happened? How is it possible that Nigel Farage got to such a position in politics? How is it possible that he has so much power? You have to take responsibility, the media. You helped him. You're continuing to help him. And you'll see him in number 10 and you'll be asking these questions, which is frankly pathetic. You need a robust media to call reform out, to call Nigel Farage out. Because what they're doing is they're pushing policies that are going to be detrimental to the British public. It's going to be extremely damaging to society and to the economy. And now is the time, yesterday is the time, to call him out. It's too late when he's already in power. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.